Hey guys, my name is Mike Fallett. I own a company called Dream Starters Publishing and another company called the $1 Million Book Agency. They call me the Bookman because I love to help entrepreneurs bring their stories to life in a book so they can use it to elevate their name, credibility, and revenue streams. The whole goal of writing a book should be to help a lot of people, but also to get you where you want to go, your brand where it needs to go, simply because the more your business is known, the more you can help people. So this video is all about giving you 7 tips on how to create the perfect title for your book. I think it's going to be very clear and concise for you because this is a major part of the book writing process. I don't think you start here. I think you need to create the content first because you marry the title to the content. You don't marry the content to the title. And that is very clear and simple whenever we work with our clients. Simply because the moment you start to say, I need to have every word in this book go back to the title, you become limited and your creativity kind of shuts down. My belief is you start with where you're going in life. Who are you becoming? How do you want to be known 5 years from now, a year from now? And then you work your way backwards. It's reverse engineering. It's the Socratic method. And once you have that in place, then you put the content down, teaching lessons, telling stories, and then you come up with the title. So these are 7 tips on how to create the perfect title for your book. Number 1 is clarity. You have to make it clear. You have to make it concise. We do shoot for something that is simple as 3 to 4 words. And I do want our books that we put out there to be a synonym for the author's name. So if Bill Jones wants to be known as the real estate guy, it has to scream real estate. If Bill Jones wants to be known as the personal development guy, the motivation guy, it has to scream motivation. It has to be so simple and clear that people understand what it's all about right from the get-go. So clarity, make sure it's clear. Don't try to be too clever with the words. And what you can do when it comes to a title is create a subtitle that wraps it all up in a nice bow. So change your life, right? The ultimate guide to increasing your well-being, wealth, and network, right? So how to, or the ultimate guide for, that's how you clean it up so it's a punch to the face. But the phrase itself, the title, should be a 3 to 4 word, that's what we look for. Breakdown, that should be a synonym for your name. Number 2, relevance. It has to be relevant to who you're becoming. What's your brand all about a year from now, 5 years from now? So is it going to help you get speaking gigs, podcast interviews, clients? Or is it going to help the market know what you're all about? So if they join your newsletter, download your book, and you offer them 50 different solutions, does it all tie together? And that's why I recommend, if it's your first book, you make it as general as possible. General lessons tied to specific stories geared towards a target audience. That's our equation. And so this general book that you put out there can be the launch pad to a whole new life. And as time goes on, you become a little bit more specific. But don't start it with the specifics. Start with the general lessons that will help brand you, give you an identity. It's relevant to your mission, to your purpose, to the hero's journey. This is step 1 of a whole new life. Number 3, it has to be memorable. It's got to be so positive and memorable. It's the way I look at it. So yes, if it's a synonym for your name, it's got to be simple, positive, and something that stands out. That way, if they hear Bill Jones, they say, oh, the personal development guy. Oh, Bill Jones? He's the real estate guy. Oh, Bill Jones? He's the how to defend yourself guy. Make it memorable, right? So as long as it stays top of mind, as long as it doesn't go in one ear and out the other, make it memorable. And you can do this by trying a few things out with your social media, asking your friends and family, and almost asking your clients might be the best step. You know, when I help you with things, is there anything that stands out that I help you above all else with? Get those words, put them down on a piece of paper, start to bring out the buzzwords and say, what's the most memorable? $1 million book. Obviously it's memorable because it does tie with finances. Individuals don't want to just write a book. They want to write a book that produces some type of wealth in one way or many ways. And that's why I created that book. Dream Starter was my first book. I wanted to be memorable. So Mike Fallett equals Dream Starter became my Instagram handle, my social media handle, became my YouTube channel for a while. That was my identity. People knew me as the Dream Starter, still do. Turned into Dream Starters Publishing. And then all of a sudden I started to become very well known in the book world, so it became Bookman, and that's my new identity, $1 million book guy. So you will evolve over time, but it's all about where you're going. And as long as it's memorable, it'll stick. Number 4, keyword optimization. You want it to be so easy for people to type in to Google or find it on Amazon, right? They are going to not want to type in the subtitle or something that's extremely long. Change your life, Bill Jones. Make it so it's simple to type. Make sure it's easy to market once it's done. Hashtags are very powerful, obviously, whenever it comes to either the tags itself within your Go High Level account, the $1 Million Book Agency, which is what we offer, or when it comes to your social media handles. Think about it in terms of whenever you are typing it in on a hashtag, is it easy to do? Will you want to do it for at least a year, 5 years, 10 years? Think about it when it comes to keyword optimization. And then from the consumer standpoint of actually typing it in, because that is going to be one step into the market identity that you create. Make it easy for them to remember, but also make it easy for them to type in and search for you. And so yes, you can get unique with it. The more unique, I guess, it's going to be a little bit easier to find on Google, but it should be as simple as this. Change Your Life by Bill Jones. Pops up, got it, okay, it's easy to see, pops up in a thumbnail, and we'll talk about that when we design covers in another video, but make it easy for them to type in, make it easy for them to search, and make it easy for you to stand out if there are many other books or shows or anything else that has similar titles. Emotional appeal is number 5. You want it to be a title that connects with people, and it's almost as if it's the solution to somebody's problem, something so important to them. And if you could tap into that emotional DNA, the thing that's kicking in their brain that says, I need this problem solved. You want to be so much at the top of their mind that you are the go-to solution. And the way you do that is you tap into their emotional state. You do this through storytelling within the book, but the title can do that also. There are people out there who are going through divorces. There are people out there who are going through financial struggles. There are people out there who want to do X, Y, and Z, but they just don't know how. You can be their Mr. Miyagi. You can be their guiding light. You can be their solution. So make it easy on them to make a decision about you. Tap into their emotional aspects, and therefore you're going to bridge trust. You're going to bridge one step of credibility that is going to potentially have them either join your newsletter, buy your book, watch your course, go to your event, follow you on social media, listen to your podcast. It never ends. Number 6, authenticity. It's got to be real. It's got to be you. Don't try to be somebody you're not. It's got to fall in line with that hero's journey. Where are you going in life? If you're trying to follow somebody else's path, it's not going to work, because eventually you hit a brick wall. There's going to be a bridge up ahead, right? And you want it to be you. That way, when you are on a podcast, you're on stage, you're on that video, you're on that course, and you hold up your book, that title, it screams your name. It screams your business. If you're not authentic, nobody cares. You could be fake for a while, but eventually they're going to meet you in person. They're eventually going to go to an event or on a podcast with you, and they're going to find out who you really are. And if it doesn't sync up, if it's not a 1-to-1 ratio, they will forget about you. So it has to be authentic. Number 7, concise, right? You want to break it down into something that is 3 words, not 10. You want to say something in as few as words possible with the biggest bang for your buck. The attention span of a human is dropping day by day simply because we have more options. We have social media. Make it 3 or 4 words. Make it easy on them. Patrick Bet-David wrote a book called Choose Your Enemies Wisely. So when he gets on a podcast, when he gets on stage, he references that message. People will remember him as the guy who wrote Choose Your Enemies Wisely. He also wrote a book, Your Next 5 Moves. So what is Patrick Bet-David all about? Helping you decide your next 5 moves. He also helps people with starting a business. He wrote a book, How to Become an Entrepreneur in 90 Pages, right? I think that was a long title, but at least it's clear, it's concise, right? It's simple enough for people to not have to second guess what it's all about. So you need to keep it concise. Subtitles, like I said, we'll talk about that in another video. How to, the ultimate guide. This is where you can button it all up. But the title itself, 3 or 4 words, shoot for that, and your life will change. One extra bonus piece I want to give you, and that is Think about a book as a launch pad for a whole new life. This has to be all tied together. It's not just one book. This book could be a gateway to a podcast. We work with Tim Lyons. He wrote a book called Built to Grow. Turned it into the Built to Grow podcast. So how does that happen? If you can have the vision, if you can have the idea that maybe I want to create a podcast or a video or a series or a course or an event around this book, wow, this will be an asset for life. So don't think of it as just a book title. Think of it as a new brand, as a new course, a new revenue stream, a new podcast, a new way for the market to associate you with greatness. This will be part of your legacy, and you want this title to mean something. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. If you want to join my newsletter, it's completely free. I give out tips like this throughout the week. I guess it's just at least once a week right now, but it's MikeFallett.com, Mike Fallat, Fallat.com. Or if you want to get a copy of my book, $1 Million Book, just go to $1,000,000bookman.com. I'm here for you. Remember, $1 million book will lead to $1 million life. Right on.